Welcome everybody to December. That means we get to review November's analytics on my YouTube page, TikTok, and Twitch. Hope you enjoy. So here I have all of my content, the three types, shorts, a live stream, and videos, all split out on this chart. You can see that videos, the long form or horizontal type content, hasn't really taken off until recently. Well, it hasn't really taken off actually, but it has done a little bit better. And I think let me focus on the things that worked out for me, and I think that will be helpful for anyone watching, and you can learn from me, make less mistakes, and improve your own content creation if that's what you're doing. Otherwise, listen for some behind-the-scenes thoughts about some of the content I'm creating. So, actually, nothing in the sense of how I record my videos or anything like that. I don't do any prep. I really should. I did that a while ago before I started live streaming more, when I was just doing recorded videos. I think they were fun to do. They were a lot more work, but at the end of the day, live streaming is just as fun. So I'm not too worried because it is still mainly a hobby. So just trying to make sure that it still remains fun to me. But during all this, I'm finding some really cool and fun ways for me to improve some metrics on my own. One of the big things that I've been playing around that you'll probably notice is the thumbnails that I'm using. So in short, let me click this video randomly. In short, the way that your video will get views is by YouTube thinking that it will get views. It thinks it will get views based on impressions, and then also the viewer retention and view duration. So all of these metrics, and I'm sure many others, but I think these are going to be the main ones, determine how many impressions YouTube is going to serve your video. How many impressions or how many people YouTube is going to serve the video to. Interestingly, it doesn't talk about unique impressions. So this could be 5.1K, but it's repeatedly maybe showing like 3 times to one individual. So even though that this may be 5K, there may be only a few thousand actual people watching. Now, the thing though is that in the early stages, when your video is first getting some impressions, that's when your impressions click-through rate is going to be measured. And then also, of course, some of your average view duration. But the huge thing I think that makes a lot of difference when it comes to seeing your video get a few more impressions and hopefully then views is the thumbnail and the title, because that will be the first way that your viewers are going to discover that video. So you can see here that this is one of my best thumbnails actually at 5% click-through rate. I think a ton of bigger and perhaps even better content creators have even higher impression click-through rate. Typically this is around 1%. 0.1% to 1% on most videos. So 5% is huge. This is going to be a mix of both what the thumbnail looks like and then also if it just targets a topic that people are thinking about. So just like with Space Marine 2, I was able to just see that, Build 42 news about Project Zomboid is going to be big. This game has been highly anticipated. We've been waiting for years for Build 42, so I know already that Build 42 would be a hot topic. Now, did I know that I would be the one to get a video out there to have all these impressions shared my way? I don't know. I definitely tried, and it looks like it worked out for me. I don't think that this will continue. This is a very temporary topic. I mean, Build 42 is going to release in a few weeks, so I wouldn't expect for this video's impression click-through rate to stay at this level. I think it's only really high for my channel at 5% because of the topic. And you can see that this is kind of a similar thing, I think, if we jump to our Space Marine videos, which I also wanted to try and target, people talking about it, and try and see if that would get some views here. And so again, the Space Marine 2 Necrons were teased at the end of that video game. And then so there was a potential theory and moment in time where some people online were talking about the potential new DLC or expansion enemy types for Space Marine 2 before the company confirmed that it would not be Necrons. So this is now an outdated video because we actually have news that it is not going to be the Necrons, but I haven't changed it since I launched it. You can see it still suggests that Necrons may be the new enemy, but impressions are at a whopping 11%. So this is crazy. This is huge amount of impressions rate. This would probably get like a bajillion views if people actually watched my video. So this video isn't that great. Lots of rambling, not very well edited, but I think it's really cool to see that, hey, you know, if I had good content, I think that video would have gone even bigger. I mean, for me, 5.7K on a long horizontal video is huge. So I think that, I mean, I'm really proud of that accomplishment. I think that's really cool. Thank you everyone for watching. But if you're into content creation yourself, I mean, definitely consider, like I said, the content in this video isn't actually that great, but because people aren't watching the video before they click into it, before they click through into it, our impressions click-through rate is extremely high since the thumbnail is pretty clear. You can even see it when it's kind of tiny, at least I can on my screen. So highly recommend y'all to, you know, if you're doing your thing on content creation and you don't want to do much more work, or you can't do much more work, you don't have time or anything like that, you got other responsibilities, or you just don't want to, I think creating thumbnails at least should be something that you do if you want to grow. Just as much as I think doing clips and creating shorts are pretty necessary to help you grow in a good amount of time. Obviously, I think I am not the right person to tell you exactly how to get big or successful on YouTube, at least to be able to independently just use YouTube finances and monetization to help you survive in life. But I think it's pretty clear that thumbnails have a huge power. So definitely work on your thumbnails if you want a bit more viewership. And then after that, your content hopefully can improve and people will stick around, and both those two pieces being well connected together or both good, I think makes for a great video at that point. But you know, I am just really playing a bunch of games that I enjoy, trying to share my experience, my reactions and such. So I don't really have much way to improve my content because I'm just being me. But I can do different content. So, you know, for example, that Space Marine video, which was not a gameplay video, but just, you know, theory about the game and so on, discussion. And then here's another video similar. It's about Project Zomboid, but it's nothing about the gameplay, just about news about the game and so on. So definitely consider doing different videos or different content like that still you find enjoyable. For another example, that could also be literal walkthrough gameplay. I mean, sure, I'm playing through the game and it could be considered a walkthrough, but it's not as cut up or edited to be very clear about how to actually play and beat the game in an efficient manner. Because I keep my mistakes, since, you know, it's part of my reaction and so on. So it's not fully edited for a walkthrough video. And that wouldn't make sense for me, since then I would also need to spend so much time to do all of that stuff, which I'm not really about. Again, like I said, just really want to have fun playing and streaming these games and hanging out with y'all. So really appreciate y'all for showing up, even though I'm not maybe making as much value for y'all when you watch. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And then you can see, because I think so much of my video performance relies on the topic and then the thumbnail discovery and maybe even title, my viewership for my long videos are all over the place. Typically around 20 to 50 views in the first week. And then sometimes afterwards they may get up to a few hundred. Any videos over 1,000 is pretty outlier behavior for my channel. So definitely worth taking a look into those videos specifically. In November, I didn't really have that many good long videos like I did before, or even any super viral live streams like Endoparasitic. So I think that's totally fine. That's what I expected. This is normally how I expected the streaming time to go. But I think you can also expect, though, to get lucky and find these really cool moments where as long as you keep working at it, maybe you'll find that opportunity and get lucky in that sense. I think I definitely got lucky with the timing. I was able to do both Space Marine and Endoparasitic. And then in this next month, for November at least, I was playing a lot of games that I personally really enjoyed, particularly Project Zomboid and then Signalis. So those two games I really enjoyed and did a ton of videos and a ton of content on those. But you'll notice typically the series based videos don't actually get as many views all the way to the end, right? So you can see on my first episode for Signalis, I have 134 views, yet by the end episode, it's 23. And even some people are skipping because in the 5th episode, this one only has 8 views. So something to consider is that it's going to be hard to get someone to watch multiple videos, especially of these longer games. I think unless it's more edited, because otherwise this is over like, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, plus all the minutes of 14, 15, 16, that's over like 17, 18 hours of content right there. Nobody's going to watch all of that. So I think it would be super beneficial for me to do a cut up or maybe a highlights of the entire series, and make that a better format for YouTube. I still put up all of my long live streams as much as I think is appropriate and good, decent quality onto YouTube, just so kind of like an archive. Me personally, when I watch streamers, I really enjoy watching them in the I just enjoy watching them, and so I'm sometimes curious what happens in between those edits. And I really like them. I like both though. So I think at the end of the day, in the future, if I could do it my way, I would still be doing these bunch of live streams, but I would be taking more time to edit them into a better YouTube format. But all that said, you can still see, all these few dozen views, that's huge. And this is all just largely unedited gameplay footage, just me talking while I'm playing. And I think that's really cool. You can see, it's possible, right? I can see from good thumbnails, good titles, good topic choice. If you plan it out, you could definitely get discovered. And then I think at that point, then it's just about your content being widely and easily recommendable to a wide group of people to really then go viral from there. But I don't know. I haven't actually gone super viral. That's just what I'm thinking right now. Is that all? Is that at all going to change how I do things? I don't think so. I'm going to continue to be grinding, trying to improve my thumbnail game. Interestingly, there's tons of different formats. For example, this was another good thumbnail. This has really nice character art highlighted out front with some gameplay perspective footage as a background, very clear title and text in the bottom left. That's a typical format that I used in Space Marine, and then I tried different types of formats of thumbnails as well. Still the text in the lower left, but still bigger gameplay footage. And I tried for this one a kind of a funny thumbnail where I have a Project Zomboid dude riding this cow, which is not possible. And it's kind of misleading because it kind of suggests perhaps to some people that you would be able to ride animals in Build 42. But really it was just for clickbait. I don't think that's possible. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure. But I just thought that was funny, and I realized I could edit the photo to look like he was riding that, so I did it. Some other thumbnails are absolutely terrible. This one was a test of mine. Lots of different elements. I have the title of the game in the background, but it's cut off. I have a stuffy of the monster put up there with a highlight, centered text, arrow, the own monster, and then my own photo. When I put it like that, it sounds like a lot, but I didn't know. I thought, hey, maybe it would work. But I think largely the issue is that background and then perhaps my photo in the top right. Or maybe it is a perfect thumbnail, yet for some reason just people aren't interested in Amnesia the Bunker. So you also have to consider, like, hey, if you don't just listen to the algorithm, if you think that you have a good idea, I think you should try it. I mean, there's no cost to uploading stuff on YouTube. All you get to see is the metrics, and then you can always change it after the fact. But if you do change your thumbnail after the fact, I'm not sure what to expect. This video, I changed the thumbnail. It was pretty terrible before. I'm not sure if I still have it, but it was, you know, poorly lit photo of me, which most are. This character background, he was not outlined. There was no game title. It was just bland text, black and white text, that essentially said something like, I'm huffing air with this guy. So kind of very hard to understand what this video would be about. Is it even about a game or like what? I don't know. That's my thinking. So I changed the thumbnail, and I changed it to this one where there's a game title. I have him in front of the title to give some depth. He's highlighted. That's a game character. It looks like a game graphics, I assume, so it's easier to understand. And then I have my own photo to make it clear that this is going to be a commentary type reaction playthrough video where it's going to have my face and people aren't jump scared when they click into it and see me. So just want to make that up front. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Maybe people don't like seeing me up there. So sometimes you'll see I do thumbnails without me, if I think it makes sense. Like some of my videos with, I think, good thumbnails, I think look better without me, or at least they're easier to understand. I think definitely in the future, if I have more of a following, it would be better to use yourself, but people don't know who I am, so I don't think me being there really does anything to add to the interest of the thumbnail, unless I was particularly maybe good looking or doing a funny face or reaction type thing. I'm not sure. You can see that this is 0.6% impressions click-through rate, but this was actually like 0.1%. So I changed the thumbnail on the 5th day, and these first 4 days had hardly any views, hardly any impressions either. Yeah, you can see that because of my past videos, YouTube expected it to do well, so it gave me a boost in like about 2K impressions to see how well the video would do. It didn't do well with its impression click-through rate during these early days. So at around the 5th day or so, or like maybe around here, so 2 days, I'm not sure. Well, either way, I think it's easier to see here, because I did notice this, is that once I changed the thumbnail, my impression click-through rate grew significantly more. I don't know if that will actually get this video's viewership to 100 or even 1,000. I doubt it. I think it's dead in the water by now. But it's still interesting to note that I can see the proof that changing the thumbnail did work. I mean, you can see the period before with the other thumbnail, it didn't work. And now sporadically it seems to work at least a little bit better. Is that a scientific test? No. But that's just what I assume. From the data that I do see, I think it's pretty safe to conclude that this is because of the thumbnail and not because suddenly 4 or 3 days later, people started to click in. Maybe though. I don't think so. And just in case you're curious, you can see a huge fucking 33% impression click-through rate. That's probably because maybe it only showed, we only got 3 impressions today, and maybe just one person clicked on it with that nice even 33.3 repeating. So don't get too focused on the metrics, especially when you have low numbers. But do take into account what the general message you're getting. And the general message I'm getting, I think, is that people aren't really searching or trying to find this game. This game is an indie horror game, so horror is already niche, and then for it to be an indie game with no marketing makes it even more niche. This is from a solo developer, so there aren't even that many people involved with the project to help promote it naturally. And I think it's self-published too, so that all goes in together with it, you know, being indie and so not a lot of marketing. And that is then the reason why I think there's not many people watching, even though I have decently good view duration from, I think, people who consistently watch me. Thank y'all. To that, which at least boosts it to maybe closer to 100 or at least 60, 50 views. Now, that was most of November. Most of early November was playing Signalis. I really enjoyed that game, so I'm glad I got to do another long playthrough of a game. And then otherwise, I'm playing a bunch of these other indie games as well. I like to do these indie games because, first of all, I enjoy them. And second of all, not many people are covering them either. So in a strategic sense, my video being out there kind of gives me a boost. Like, in case people do search that video, I'm I could be feasibly lucky enough to be one of those videos that is recommended from that search. Now, is that the same for like Supervive or these super big video game hits, Stalker 2 or anything like that? Probably not, only because bigger creators who are releasing those videos using that topic are going to have their subscribers and their loyal viewers watching and promoting those videos and then boosting those metrics for their videos, and then it makes those videos recommended to all of us everywhere else since they have so much viewership and such good metrics. But over time, that isn't going to always be the case for videos, so there's always an opportunity, I think, to break into a YouTube market. For example, with Stone Shard, this is an indie game that is not new. It's somewhat old, not as old as Project Zomboid, but there is a lot of people who know about Stone Shard, yet not a lot of creators in Stone Shard speaking English. Surprisingly, there's a lot of foreign players playing Stone Shard. Well, I think the game is developed somewhere in the East, so that's probably why. Anyways, Stone Shard is a well-known game, decently well-known, but there's not many creators, so I think that's why it was relatively easy with a pretty simple thumbnail to still get decently good impression click-through rate. Like I said, my normal is like 0.1 to 1%, maybe 3 if I'm doing really well. But for it to be close to 4% or even 5% for that other Project Zomboid video, that is crazy. So for this to be 3.7, I don't know. What y'all think of this thumbnail? I think it's pretty unclickable. So I'm curious what would happen if I kept making some Stone Shard videos. I really enjoy it. I probably won't return to it until the new update. But I'll be curious to see how different thumbnails do. Because, specifically, I was thinking about this, and I wanted to compare what would happen if I just tried to duplicate this first video that I made on Stone Shard, which again had the 3.7% click-through rate. It has me with a thumbs up bottom left, text centered, and then a gameplay photo in the background with some dead bodies. Now, if we go into the next video, this one I actually tried to make into a sort of copy. Like, can I replicate the performance of that last video? And in fact, the content for this video at least starts out very similarly to the last video. So it just so worked out that because I died in Stone Shard, I had to replay the part in this game, that the part that I covered in this video already. However, I decided, look, because I don't know if I would actually be successful because it's a roguelite and, it's pretty hard for me. So I just started recording and I realized, hey, you know what? Let me just try something. So I started off this video pretty much doing the same thing I'm doing in this video. It has the same exact thumbnail, a little bit different. So different centered text, but it's still centered. I'm still there with the thumbs. I'm highlighted. And then we still have a gameplay shot, except there's no dead bodies. It looks a bit more bland of a background. And what do we see? We actually see really extremely similar impression click-through rate. What is going on? So this is now showing to me a sort of format that I could be using for Stone Shard games. at least compared to my other Stone Shard thumbnail, which I've only done one of. So is it really a true test? Is that thumbnail really the best? I don't know. Maybe it's the title, the description, just who it was surfaced to, and all these other minor details. But I'm going to be curious about experimenting with that more. Now, if we look at this other Stone Shard thumbnail, which is completely different, you can see it has a somewhat similar impressions click-through rate, except it is a bit lower, and it ended up with significantly less views, only 20% of the same views that the other game got. Yeah, 20%. So does this mean, I think it's two things. One, the thumbnail is somewhat better, maybe not the best, but it is somewhat better than this. Then two, there's not a lot of content creators in Stone Shard. So, hey, I mean, if you're watching this video and you like Stone Shard, I think you should give it a go. I think finding these type of games where maybe they're a bit untapped, maybe not many people are looking at them, but the game is good, you enjoy it, and you can make good content out of that, I think people are going to watch. Now the question is, how many Stone Shard viewers are out there? I have no idea. It could be something as low as like 2,000 people per week. So, you know, because we have to assume that a lot of people watching Stone Shard videos, especially because this one, I forgot to mention, this is titled with the quest name, and then I clickbait it by saying Pro Guide, which it is not, and it's very clear it's not, so I think it's okay in the first few seconds. So anyways, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. This is also about the beginning of Stone Shard, so maybe a lot of people... Oh, right. If there's only a few 2,000 people watching Stone Shard videos consistently, I mean, that's the max amount of views you can get. There's probably some point where some Stone Shard viewers are not just watching, they're watching for a specific reason, like a walkthrough or information, not necessarily for just, you know, watching funny videos about the game that they enjoy. That's probably significantly a lower amount of people. So if you're going to be making content in these sort of untapped spaces where there aren't many creators, where, you know, there's a clear space for you to enter, you will be doing the hard work of bringing people to watch and like that type of content. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason why there's a lot of meme videos about Project Zomboid is because there are a few huge Project Zomboid meme creators. And you know what? Compare Project Zomboid content to any other indie game, the production value for a lot of Project Zomboid creators are extremely good. Like, the editing is so good. Even creators coming out today is really slick. But I think that all stems because some of the top visible Project Zomboid creators edit in that same similar style, and everyone follows along with that. So you can see that it's sort of made this sort of video format that works well for Project Zomboid. But you take a different game, I don't know, anything else, and maybe the meme format for those games are a bit different. Like, Project Zomboid editing is very clean. It's not yet, I guess it's not yet been affected by brain rot type editing. However, you look at creators like the Green Slime dude, and then hey people, it's whatever that dude's name, I forget his name. But those are like meme type videos where, you know, they use screenshots or footage from other sources from just games, and then they edit that into their video, and then contextually altogether it makes for a funny joke or a punchline. That does not exist in Project Zomboid as much as it does for like RimWorld or these other games that those type of creators are making. So would that format work? Maybe. I enjoy those videos, but I haven't seen one for Project Zomboid. Seems like a cool, pretty cool opportunity if you are interested in that type of editing. So anyways, I think that's a lot of my thoughts here For me, I think the biggest thing I need to work on are thumbnails. I'm seeing a lot of viewership come in as I work and improve my thumbnail game. Hopefully some of these people are sticking around, and it makes it that much easier for my next video to get a few more views and get recommended to even more people. So, I don't know. Growth has slowed down a lot in November. I haven't gotten lucky, like I said, but I think it's still a ton of fun. Really fortunately, I am making, thanks to that huge spike in the first few days of November, I'm making very similar to what I did in October, 8% less. This is mostly due to some really generous donators, so appreciate y'all. Big shout out to iRoz Girls, still being my only tier 3 membership sub, paid sub, and giving me reason and cause to make this video. So appreciate you, iRoz Girls. Thank you so much. I did hope to be able to hit 3K subscribers by the end of November, but we didn't make that. I've actually been fluctuating quite a bit in my recent releases. I've noticed my subscriber count go down and up. I guess that is something to expect also as you change drastically your topics. As you can see, and maybe you've watched yourself, I went viral with a Death Watch lore video. Then my next viral game or content was playing Endoparasitic, a top-down 2D like roguelite, compared to Space Marine 2, a AAA 3D third-person shooting game, to now making videos about Project Zomboid, a top-down isometric survival sim game, and playing a ton of different horror games all between. So that is giving, I think, a lot of people whiplash. I see some comments now that I've been making videos for a while now that people are asking for certain types of content too. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to be playing the stuff that I enjoy, sharing the content that I like. But anytime that I see these opportunities where maybe viewership and growth can occur by deciding to do something or deciding to chase an opportunity that I think is still fun, I think is going to be the best way to spend my time here. And I think that's the most fun. I'll be honest, I really enjoy seeing these numbers go up. I like the idea that in the future I could just do YouTube. I think it's really fun. It's a dream that I've had for a long time, but we'll see if that actually happens. So I'm just chipping away continuously, making some progress here and there. Got a bunch of dislikes, likes. Don't worry about it too much. Definitely still get more likes than dislikes for most videos. And I think there's just like 1 or 2 people that come in here and instantly dislike a video when it shows up. But definitely ignore those people. All right, and I realize I never really dove into the specific revenue. I realize I don't want to specifically go into the membership stuff or see specific members or people's donations, just to hide some privacy, because people be giving me quite a bit, and I appreciate y'all so much. So just for your own safety, I'll keep that a bit obfuscated. Y'all gonna have to watch the lives to tell, or watch my vids. Okay, so the big thing is that none of my revenue of this, like over 100, comes from ads. Ads give me nothing. From all my long videos, from lifetime, let's see how much ad revenue I've gotten. $29 in the past 3 months since I first started on October, since I first got monetized or YouTube partnered on around October 9th, I assume, when we first get some revenue coming in. So $29 for almost 3 months of work. Is it worth it? Not yet, but you can see that these videos, some of these videos will continue to get views in the future, just like my Death Watch lore short, surprisingly. And as they continue to get views, they're going to continue to get money. But now, what if I fast forward into a year and then I have, maybe I got lucky and got 3 of those type of videos out? That would be a good amount of more change. And then you just keep stacking up those amount of videos. Even though they don't get many views, they still all stack up. So I think that's really cool to see. Admittedly, revenue is low from ads, but that is something that will only just grow from here, I think, right? Shorts feed ads, very similar. You can see a huge spike when the Death Watch and my other Space Marine 2 video went a little bit viral over there. And then now they're trickling down. Even though I have a fuck ton more shorts than videos, you can see they make hardly any money because they have hardly any views. Only cents on the dollar. Pretty cool though that my Death Watch short is still being shown. I think this just proves to me that I think the algorithm works. I don't think it punishes people. I mean, I put out a lot of bad content, but here and there I'm still seeing some good growth. So I really think, you know, just keep working at it, put out what you think is good, and if it's not good, then, you know, just learn from it. Sometimes I have to put out stuff that isn't good because that's just who I'm just doing content about me, and it's me. So hope y'all still enjoy that. All right, the big donation, of course, is going to be from my very generous gifters and viewers. Thank y'all so much. Big shout out again to my We Bind the Farm fan tier 3 sub. Thank you so much, Iraz Girls. Appreciate you. Most of the donations, though, are coming in from donations. Most of the revenue is coming from donations. So gifted memberships and then the regular membership that people are doing. I think I have 3 to 4 people who, including We Barring the Farm fan, who did their own memberships. Otherwise, everyone else is gifted. Appreciate all that love. That's really cool. Thank you so much. That's amazing. So over $170 this month. Oh, lifetime for donations. But let me focus on November. So here we go. 150. Lots of huge donations at the beginning of the month that inflated that a little bit. But that's mostly content. I think that was coming from October. I can't remember. Either way, happened in November. Supers and gifts. So this is another way to donate through YouTube, and lots of people are using that super chat once in a while. Super stickers too. So appreciate y'all for sending me those gifts. So even though you aren't having a huge amount of viewership, some of the people that do watch you can be really supportive. I mean, some people have been watching me since my Endoparasitic 2 live, my first one. And that is, I have to do a whole ass another page. And that is on October 1st. So now over a month. I don't know, if I stream tonight, I think I'll see some of those names that I saw initially from these Endoparasitic streams. So that is really cool. Even though I don't have that many people watching, some people are sticking around, and, you know, keep that long enough. Maybe they'll leave eventually. Definitely don't want to hold anyone. As long as you're having fun and being entertained, I hope you stick around. But if they... Let me do that later. I don't know why I just opened that up. And then I lost my train of thought. Yeah. I mean, if people even leave, I think it's still proved to me that, hey, some people will at least watch me for a little bit. And if I can get to a point where all those few people are watching me a little bit at the same time, I mean, that'd be pretty big, right? Even 20 people on Twitch, even 10 people on YouTube, however many people, 5, 10 on TikTok. I mean, all these low numbers. I mean, 20 is huge on Twitch. I should say like 3 on Twitch is going to be huge. So really appreciate all of that. And I think, you know, it's been pretty slow. I don't know. I'm enjoying myself. I see this growth, so I can't help but think I should just keep going, right? I think there will be a point where I stop. If I stop seeing growth or ways to improve, and I'm just like, man, you know, this is not going to go anywhere, because it does take a lot of time. I've been neglecting other parts of my life as I try and figure out how to put this hobby in because it easily scales the amount of time that I want to invest into it very easily. I'll just get locked into doing some editing and then I'll forget to eat or something like that, just because I enjoy it so much. And I really appreciate having this outlet to have this passion for something that isn't about work, in the sense that I can just do what I think is cool and what I think is best. And so once that, if I ever get to a point where that no longer happens, I think that's when it's gonna end and I close down the channel for good. But I mean, this is something that I've wanted since I was a kid, so I don't think it's gonna go away. I think I'm just gonna keep doing it for forever. I'm just gonna have to figure out better ways on how to fit it into my life and my schedule, and make sure it's a bit more holistically enjoyable. I mean, you know, I may enjoy editing right now, but I'm gonna hate being fucking hungry and starving and, you know, forgetting to eat right after. So I want to improve my life, still do my hobbies, still get my job done, be able to pay the bills. It's a lot. So I really do appreciate y'all for watching and supporting me in this dream. I mean, I've gotten so far, right? I had just created nearly three months ago, close to 3K subscribers. I mean, hitting 1K subscribers a long time ago was insane. Getting all these donations once I got partnered up is insane. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all making me delulu. Thank you all so much for doing that. Appreciate that. And let me just take a quick stop by Twitch and TikTok. I don't think they're very good. Twitch. I think their analytics pages are not very good. I mean,
lower high.
Stop, please. It's a bit harder to read. Okay, so let's see here. I want to show off some viewership data. So right now the big goal, I guess, for me is to be able to hit 3 average viewers on Twitch, because that then makes me partnered or affiliate. So that's, I think, the easiest way to look at it. And you can see there seemed to be a little bit of growth. We look at these nearly every other stream. There's a good amount of growth where people are watching, and then it kind of dies down more recently. And I think it's a lot to do with the games that I'm doing. This is where I think it's a bit shitty, because it's hard to see the games that I'm doing from this area. Oh shit, some people clipped me. I didn't see that. Okay, I gotta check that out later. I know there is a way to tell, but I can't actually tell. Anyways, you can see that based on time stream, that doesn't really have anything to do with my viewership. Loose correlation. I even stream more in this period, but this is kind of low viewership. Doesn't really do anything for unique viewers. Unique viewers is mostly from the type of game or the specific game that I show. If the game has if the game has high average viewers per channel, that means it's more likely for someone to discover me, I think. That's what it seems. There's a lot of different variables, and I don't have the time or desire, I should say instead, to really look into this or pay attention, because I'm still going to be doing the same things I'm doing, right? I don't have a schedule for specific days where I do something special or anything like that. So I'm just working away. I do have some ideas for making some specials, maybe creating a specific intro for a few games like Project Zomboid, and some of these other things to maybe improve the production value a little bit, make it a bit more clear what the expectation is of the video and stuff like that. But I'm still very much playing around. I feel I have an inconsistent voice sometimes too. Sometimes my energy isn't as I like it to stream, and yet I still stream. Because at the end of the day, like I keep saying, I still really enjoy the idea of streaming and where it puts me when I'm playing these games. So that to me is fun. And because that is fun as it is, I'm not too stressed or worried about, or right now have the desire to change that. Now, like I said, once it gets to a point where I no longer have these other ways to grow myself, like through improving thumbnails, then I think I would reconsider content or even stop. But content would be just more curated, less off the cuff stuff, maybe more prep, and then fewer streams as well, going for more quality. Not that I'm focused on quantity, because very clear, I just enjoy doing it. There is room for me to play less, which I would not like, but improve the quality a bit more on the production for both streaming and then for also YouTube. But that would significantly take away time from streaming, which is the thing that I enjoy the most. So that's something that I've been contending with quite a bit recently. And I think for this next month, I'm going to continue with what I'm trying to do. We'll see if we get lucky again with a different game as I try them. We'll see, maybe with Stone Shard's new update and Project Zomboid's new update. A lot of these games that I can actually play. We realized, I learned this month, confirmed that, I can't be playing a lot of these new games that come out, like Stalker 2, because of some special issue with my computer. It's not specifically related to my graphics card or anything like that. I think it's a specific configuration with my parts in my computer, which then makes my computer crash or lose frames and not be able to fully utilize the GPU 100% efficiently when I'm playing certain games. So because of that issue, I can't be playing games like Stalker 2 or Dragon Age and so on. So my goal will then be to highlight some of these indie games that I really enjoy when new content drops, like these updates for Stone Shard and Project Zomboid. And then also trying to find some hidden gems too, like Endoparasitic, and then also just enjoy indie games too. I want to go back to the Case of the Golden Idol, that sequel game. I really enjoyed that puzzle game, so we'll need to head back there. But right now I'm addicted to Project Zomboid, so just playing that because I enjoy it. All right, so Twitch, really static. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Sephiroth and Devourer of Souls for always watching on that Twitch. Thank you so much. I think that's why I have nearly, you can see some days I have one viewer. That's probably Devourer of Souls or Sephiroth watching. And then sometimes I'll even get two, which is both of them. And then some other people join in on top of that. And so thank y'all for watching. This is average viewers, so it's not exactly 3. Like sometimes I may have 6 or 7 or 8 for like a few minutes during the stream. But this is average, so keep that in mind. Okay, because sometimes I stream too long or too late, and then Devour goes to sleep, or maybe it's depending on the time that I stream. Certain members of your audience may not be able to watch, so obviously that's pretty obvious. Keep that in mind. And then the last one, let's check out TikTok. Going to analytics. Have we gotten any big hits on that TikTok in November? I don't think so. All my big hits were further out, like around mouthwashing time. Surprisingly, Into the Dead or whatever this zombie game got my most viral at 1.5 million views on TikTok. I think that is because it has a pretty funny opening reaction in the first few seconds, and the game is pretty cool. But in terms of my other content, there isn't that much else that really popped off. You can see it's all either Space Marine, mouthwashing, or that one zombie game. And then everything else is significantly lower than 10k views. It's like a few hundred views, which just like YouTube Shorts, it's easy to get a few dozen. On TikTok, it's easy to get a few hundred. Breaking over like 10k typically means that there's something pretty good about that video, though. I think I have very few TikTok videos over 10k. Something recently I've also been thinking about is the idea of this algorithm. So when I first started my YouTube channel, it's not that I meant to, but I just swore a lot less. The clips that I used also had less swearing. And then more recently in these scary games that I'm playing, I'm swearing more. And sometimes it sounds too bad to take out the swearing because my whole sentences are just full of swear words. So it would just be like silence. Anyways, all that to say, sometimes the type of content that you create, people will say it suppresses that content, or the certain algorithms like on TikTok or YouTube will suppress that content if it's featuring stuff that they don't want to push. I don't know how true that is, because from the POV of these businesses, they want to be able to exploit all the content they have, test them, and ensure that they aren't going to make them crazy amounts of money. Because that's what YouTube and TikTok's goal is to hope that creators are going to be making 10 million view videos. But no one knows how to make them. No one knows how to make them consistently at the scale that these businesses need, right? They need hundreds of these videos, not just what one creator can do. So it is in their best interest, I'm just assuming now, all speculation, that they do not suppress content from a creator generally. They may suppress a single video or specific videos and such, but not the whole channel, because there is a chance that what you do create does go viral, and then that is a huge money opportunity for these businesses. That's why I think, despite the cadence that I release all my content at, like just now I released 3, 6, 7 short videos all at once, where most people say, you know, you should maybe do 1 per day and whatever. But let's just check this. I released this just a few minutes ago, and it already has 66 views. Is that a lot? No. But it just goes to show that YouTube is forcing views right here, or rather impressions, or showing them in the feed, to test how good this video is. That's all they're going to give me. They're going to give me a few hundred impressions or shown in feeds. If my video doesn't do well, then they're not going to show it. But it's going to be in their best interest that they test it. Even some of my content that is limited, which means I swear, typically, for me, it means I swear in the first 7 seconds. There's other ways you can get that monetization status, but for me, that's most likely. I'm not doing anything else crazy. And here, you can see it hardly got shown to anyone. Now, why is that? This is exactly the type of video that I uploaded. You know, this is just same as I always upload. But for some reason, some videos just don't take off. There was one video that was not limited in terms of monetization or content that also had low views. This one right here with 11. Maybe the video is bad too. This one with 12. Otherwise, typically they get a few hundred YouTube views and then no one hears about them again. Some of these are absolutely terrible. But I hope that it is still possible for a YouTube video short to go viral for my page, and I think it is. From everything what I've seen and what I understand, it would not make sense for these companies to do that. I mean, they, at least for YouTube, they have millions of people watching. People can scroll through these thumbnails so easily, they can just throw them onto your page. There's hardly any cost. So they want to be able to test and understand. And because of that, I'm just going to keep making the content that I enjoy, that I think is interesting or fun, and see if other people think the same. Most of the time, it's not true, but sometimes I get surprised, like with that 1.5 million view zombie video that I thought was nothing, and then these totally different, some of these totally different Space Marine 2 videos that did not do well on YouTube, and the mouthwashing videos that did not do well on YouTube, but went crazy on TikTok. So, just worth posting everywhere. Oh, I'm also on Instagram, but I've been uploading for a few videos now, and I don't know. I think there's something about my format of vertical clips that don't fit that great in Instagram. I don't know, because there is a creator on Instagram that has pretty similar clips to mine, just visually. We play totally different games, and he's much funnier. And his videos do well. They pop off. I mean, talking about millions and millions of views. But I get at most less than 10. So I would think in some sense it would at least be 120 views, but less than 10 is really surprising to me. So Instagram, still an enigma. I don't really have much to share or report. I'm just posting up videos, and then if anything does well, then I'll look more into it. But I'm not putting so much effort into Instagram. I bring that up only because of, like, with the differences between TikTok and YouTube's performance, it's worth posting your content to different platforms because people are going to be using them differently, and I think that means also they will be liking different content. Of course, we do have to understand that these are not the same people watching this content, also watching on YouTube, so we can't make that comparison very confidently. But I do think in some sense, the algorithms for YouTube is different from TikTok, which causes different viewer behavior. And then it makes some of my content viewed more on TikTok versus on YouTube. Some other stuff is more easily viewed on YouTube. Like for the longest time, most of my views came from YouTube until TikTok blew up with a few shorts, a few clips. And then now they're more equal now, actually. So, just worth putting your stuff out there. Be proud of it. I mean, like I said, there's certainly some content that I don't think is great, but at least I had fun making them, and I put them out there. You don't have to keep watching them. You can say that it's ass and then move on. You learn from it, and then that's it. Okay, so that was a lot longer than I thought it would be. I wanted to keep it less than an hour, like 10, 15 minutes, but here's another long stream. Long recording. Not doing a stream just because I wanted to make sure I focus on exactly what I'm talking about. In the future, I think I will bring it back to streams, but I'm a bit nervous. Knowing that this isn't really my typical content. So I'm just going to be doing the recording for now. Hope y'all understand. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped. Let me show one last time the revenue for this month. $264. And then on TikTok, I don't think I can see here. I actually don't know how to see on the web. But I know it's not more than like $20. And this is mostly from the TikTok gifts. So just like YouTube, most of the revenue is coming from gifts. TikTok doesn't pay me for anything. It's just wonderful donators on the TikTok. So appreciate y'all. Okay, that's it. Hope that was interesting. Hope that inspires you to make your own content or post it, or otherwise just give you an inside look into what I'm thinking when I make my content. At the end of the day, though, it's really just to have an excuse to play games and have fun. So thank y'all for watching. Really appreciate it. Leave a like and a comment if you want to reach out. I read all the comments, so really enjoy reading what y'all have to say. Just those random comments, questions, or just calling out how handsome and thick I am. Thank you so much for those. Nobody said that, but maybe someone will now. All right, I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.